All right, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video after a week or so of vacation. Maybe you realized that, maybe you didn't, but I will be making videos again here. This is a good day to come back. Yesterday there wasn't much going on because Destiny just did its Act 2 live stream, which just finished a couple of minutes ago as I'm recording this. It was sort of an Act 2 live stream, but also like half of an Act 3 live stream, sort of, implying to me that they're probably not going to do an Act 3 live stream, given that the most of the stuff from the rest of the season is going to be dropping now. We have pretty obvious questions about what's going on with Frontiers after that and how long this episode is going to truly run for, but I guess we'll deal with that later. The main headline here is that a new activity is dropping called Court of Blades, Court of Oryx revamp as it stands. It is in the same place. You start there, and it is meant to be a lighter, breezier version of an activity, they say. It's not like Nether, where it's like these health mechanics and like, you know, going through the whole ship, and it takes 25, 35, however many minutes. This is supposed to be like, I thought they said like 10 minutes or something. These like really short sessions. And what they showed was like really small arenas, just dumping and dumping and dumping enemies on you. Sometimes there's a boss. I don't think there's a boss in everyone. And then on top of those, you stack these augments that are not, you know, they're not like Nether augments per se. I think there might be some overlap, but there's, you know, kind of a lot. They're still doing the roguelike thing in terms of like how these can stack as time goes on. But there seem to be some kind of more creative ones here. I saw one like finishing or something. A powerful combatant creates a shower of ammo for your teammates, and in between rounds you can pick, you can purchase special weapons. Like I saw you can, pick up a hive sword to use in combat as something. And then there are kind of different modifiers that will happen. Like I saw one that was like, kill the casters before they transport you to a dimension you'll have to find out of. One quote-unquote reveal here was that they are bringing IO back in a minor capacity. As we've recently talked about, the Destiny Content Vault does not let things out very easily, if ever. So if we do see something like this, it's kind of a very small portion of IO, kind of repurposed as an arena. I think they said there's one in Europa. And I believe they said more stuff is going to be added to Nether and this over time. I don't think more areas, but like more zones and things like, well, not more zones, more different bosses and objectives and things like that. This will give you access to the newer slate of weapons. I think they can drop anywhere, but I think they are mostly supposed to drop here the 4 new weapons. Thankfully, they are not dropping like 2 and 2 with Act 2 and Act 3. They're all dropping at the same time. There will also be new sort of, upgrade perks at the Eris statue, figuring out, what that's going to add to the activity. They did touch a little bit on story stuff and continue hinting strongly that if Eris is dead, she's in a throne world. That was said pretty clearly, honestly. And then we're going to start hearing whispers from beyond the veil that are almost certainly her. And then also we're going to have Oryx here. The plot of this, quote unquote, is like Oryx knows that we killed him now, and he's like kind of impressed by that. So he's testing us. Xivu Arath is there, saying that she has better champions and we're fighting against them. So that's sort of the story here. It does have an expert mode, so it's not just like some total, cakewalk thing. Like you can get the adept weapons, adept versions of the new weapons doing expert. This is so chaotic. I am wondering if expert really could be hard, or, if it's not going to be nearly as hard as expert Nether, but I guess we'll see. I don't know if there's champions. We'll see. The new weapons sound interesting. We are getting our second kinetic slot glaive, except it's not kinetic. It is strand. Some interesting perks there. There's a void lightweight bow that the origin trait here grants draw speed. So that is like permanent archer's tempo to some extent, and it has perks like demoralize, which sounds good. The other one's heavy burst sidearm, submachine gun, fusion rifle. I think the sidearm is arc and has arc perks. I don't know. Jolt shot, volt shot. DMG called it jolt shot, and that messed me up. It's volt shot. The artifact that's coming in Act 2 is all about trace rifles. There is one perk where rapid trace fire kills heal you and heal your allies. I assume this is supposed to be kind of a Nether thing, but I guess can be used anywhere. There is trace rifles do more damage with debuffs matching elemental type. And yeah, so that is, there's plenty of trace rifles with elemental debuffs that, can apply them. So that seems like a pretty good method of amping up your damage. I just don't like trace rifles. Like nothing has really made me wild about trace rifles over the years other than kind of when they were first introduced. But I don't know. I'll give them a shot. I need to do more glaive stuff. I want to try the new glaive. I think glaives got buffed a lot, but just no one's using them still most of the time. So this Court of Blades activity seems like it would actually be a really good place for blades because there's so many enemies packed so tightly together. You can just whip around and whack people, and that seems like a good method of clearing to some extent there. They did talk briefly about, like Court and Nether are getting additions in Act 3. They said new pressure events, which are like the blights that appear and you have to go do them. I hate those. Like, not that they're hard, I just find them annoying and that they pad out playtime, but yay, they're adding more. Okay. A notable addition here is yet another strike is being reprised from Destiny 1. That is the Sunless Cell strike with the knight dude who follows us through the Halloween event. This giant axe. He's gone because he was in the Light Blade, and now there is a new prisoner in that cell that they are not telling us who it is. I don't know, always like to see more strikes come back, either from, the ones that revolted or from Destiny 1. So that's cool. And one of the big things Guardian Games, there's a new trace rifle. Okay. Oh, it did say there was like a bite-sized boss rush mode for the games, which is a mode. So that sounds, it's better than we get for a lot of events, a new mode. So that's something I'm kind of curious about. But one of the biggest things in the second half here was this new Rise of the Nine dungeon event. It's a limited time event with, it's about prophecy, Spire of the Watcher, goes to the deep. And it's not just like a contest mode thing, though that was mentioned. Those dungeons will be focused on one a week, and there are different kind of modes for them in a way that spans like the noobiest of noob dungeon players to, people looking for a really big ultimate challenge. There's all these different modes. Like, okay, there's like something akin to contest-ish. It's not like exactly contest, but it's a lot harder. They put on like no swap loadouts and things like that. I think the one mode is Eternity, which is like kind of how dungeons normally are, I'm pretty sure. And then kind of one thing they put a lot of focus on is this Explore mode where, we have Nether Explorer, but, this is going to be a lot easier than that. I think there are no fail conditions and like instant respawn timers, and it's mostly just about learning dungeon mechanics. They will give you like waypoints and hints and tooltips about like what you're supposed to do in these different encounters rather than just sort of figuring out or watching a YouTube guide or having a friend tell you, in a way that they've never done anything remotely like this with dungeons or raids. So I think the goal here is to make dungeons more accessible to more people, and maybe people will buy more dungeon passes. I don't know. I can't remember if that drops loot or not, but the loot here is interesting. They're bringing back a number of weapons from the old dungeons. I forget if it's like 2 or 4 per dungeon, but it's some of the iconic weapons there. They will get revamped. They will get new perks. They will get adept options. And all of them have a cool little kind of 9-based redesign with 9 stuff in them. So that looks kind of neat. So it sounds pretty cool. It's like not, the raid run or anything, but it's like something kind of neat that I think will be accessible to at least some amount of people. I don't know if it's going to draw some sort of huge crowd who's like not already into dungeons, but I think a baby trial mode, I'm not even saying that'd be insulting, but like a lower, not skill, I don't know, you know what I mean. I think it's good to have some sort of tutorial thing and then on some of these really old dungeons, and not that anyone should ever play Ghost of the Deep. They did say they've tweaked some of these encounters in different ways. So we'll see how that pans out. And then they ended with this tease of a limited time mode that's coming in Act 3 for PvP, which is tanks versus Drake takes versus Briggs, where it's a 5v. It's like you know, it's not exactly Scorch, but it's very similar to that. The idea is one team has 5 drakes running around, the other team can control brigs, and you fight it out. It's like half Titanfall, half big team battle from Halo, but like it's, you know, I don't think it's going to be terribly balanced or whatever. It's just kind of a goof around fun mode. That sounds fun. Who cares? It's just something neat that they tried to do. So what do I make of all this? I don't know. Like it seems fine. I wasn't expecting some sort of like crazy major overhaul update thing. Like Nether was obviously going to be the big thing of the season. This Court of Blades thing, I mean, I'll play it until I get the rolls on those weapons I want. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you'd play it past that. I'm certainly curious about the story beats, though. How many of those we get exactly, and how, you know, the total runtime of those remains to be seen. And then, you know, we'll see where all this goes with the Echo of Navigation, hint hint, by the end of this. And, you know, I think we know where it's going, but I'm also very curious when Frontiers is actually going to get here, like summer, like it's supposed to, or they're delaying it more, because literally it's been like a year and a half at least between every Destiny expansion for like the last 4 expansions or something. So, you know, I'm not exactly expecting it to hit the mark exactly there. Yeah. So all in all, I mean, there was a lot of stuff. They talked for almost an hour. So I tried to condense that down for you. And is it next week? I think that's why they did it this week. I didn't even look at the date, but it's either next week or very soon. I am playing Monster Hunter Wilds as of right now. It's Wilds, right? Not Rise? Yeah, Wilds. I just started that, and that is obviously a giant time commitment game, but I'm obviously going to hop in for the new act. And like, I haven't ditched Destiny. It's just like I'm not constantly playing Destiny in lieu of other games. And I'm, you know, I was playing Marvel Rivals, for God's sake. Like, I still am. I got to catch up on my bounties, but so yeah, I'm always down to return for stuff. It's, you know, I think these seasons are pretty front loaded, but you know, that's sort of to be expected. And for what is there, I'll tune in for that. So let me know what you think of all of this, and I will, you know, be talking with you guys all week and about different news stories, and if tariffs double the price of video game consoles, fun stuff like that. So we'll see how all that goes. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.